All right, we're gonna get some volleyball going here, and it is Italian League. It's Perugia versus Verona, two of my favorite teams for this year. Lube is my third favorite team here, and in this league at least. And then it's gonna be a good little five-setter here. Verona takes it, but I'm just interested to see how it all goes. But you guys know the rosters. We got Gianelli running the offense. We got Lucero in the middle, Bentara on the right side. Excuse me. Ugh. Ishikawa on the outside, Semeniuk on the outside, Plotnitsky. So it looks like Ishikawa and Plotnitsky split some time. I'll cheat. I'll look at the stats here. It looks like Plotnitsky probably started and then just didn't play great. And then Ishikawa came in later. Unless, let's see. No, it looks like Ishikawa started. Huh. I'm intrigued. Maybe someone was struggling passing. Maybe someone was maybe they were splitting time. I don't know. Not sure. But we're going to check out Verona now. Overall attempts. Let's see. We got Kita. He got the most attacks. Makes sense. Vitelli. I'm interested. Is that the... No, that's not. Huh. I'm interested to see who this Vitelli guy is. And then you got Ferreira Souza. And you got Mojic as well. He might be a middle. This guy might be a middle. And then Mike Christenson running the offense. You already know it. Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. Let's watch some ball. All right. We got Semeniuk starting it off, and he serves from the 6, which I like because of this serve right here into this seam. Like I think this seam, you can really attack this seam well if you serve from the 6 or the 5 spot. As long as you keep it in front of you and go for it. You know. It looks like Kita's a little bit late here. Maybe contacts us a little lower than he could, and then just brings it a little too far. Semeniuk running it back, going for that seam again, going for Kita. And Micah Christenson grabs a real tight ball. And he's able to take care of it. And he's front row right now, so he could dump this. I want to see what Ishikawa does. Yeah, he doesn't even check him really. He just starts to go out here and get ready for it. But I said yesterday when I was watching a game that these 3 routes, 1, 2, 3, are the hot routes when that ball's tight because, it forces these blockers to make a few decisions. There's technically 4 people right in front of them that could put the ball over and get a kill, and that includes the setter, And also just thinking about when you have a front row setter, really nice swing there. I love how quick he swings too. I love how he just goes quick. He knows he's not getting to his peak, so he goes quick and swings before these guys can press. Anyways, continuing, but having a front row setter and putting that ball pretty tight, it's another attacker. It's another person that they have to watch. It's another person that they have to monitor and make sure that they can't score. So then putting a ball tight to the net and like what I call it weaponizing the setter is extremely important because it makes them able to attack that ball, and it just adds, instead of 4 people going at 3 guys, it's 5 people going at 3 guys. That's just a great advantage. Wow. Hello. Very interesting here. This is a little different from this isn't their system, but this is just a weird play. And Souza goes up, grabs it, and just dunks it down. Really nice. Yeah, that's legal. And that's it. Wow. Really big serve here. And you see that ball isn't even like that fast. Like he doesn't bomb this serve or anything. But because it's right on the line, just so sharp, just so far away from Ishikawa, he gets an overpass off of it because, well, he's forced to do some stuff that's interesting. Whoa, lots of scary business here. People going under the net, doing some crazy stuff, getting tripped up. I'm interested to see. Yeah, Souza went under the net, I guess. If you don't already know, the rules are if he's not fully, which I think he is fully past the net here, but if he is just on the line, then that's technically legal. And I guess they must have challenged it and seen that that Lucero was in the net instead. Um, so yeah, nice, gets chipped up. I like Semeniuk's patience here, but you see how he's very up, very tall, and then when he needs to jump, he has to get down and load right there. See how his hips have to drop so that he can like bend his legs and jump. And I think he could be down and loaded already. See how Lucer's loaded already? See how Gianelli's loaded already too. But then I think that would have helped him to make a move and close that line just a little bit better. Because, I mean, obviously it's only a ball width that he sneaks it through. But every single inch counts. Every single inch matters at this level. Good serve. We're going to him semi-in system here. He gets a little roll shot and soft block. I just want to see this. And you see here, this is one of those moves that's interesting to me. I'm going to up my brightness. It's interesting to me here because look at Mojis' arms here. He's taking the angle really, really well, okay? But because his right arm isn't pressed that much, it gives up that cross that goes right by him, And so, like, I don't know, I think you see right here, I think this frame is a good description of it. These two frames here are good descriptions of why he got scored on here, because then he presses late, and I'm telling you guys, I've told you guys this constantly, press earlier, reach towards the ball immediately. Don't reach into the angle until you've already pressed. Like maybe you're trying to get some cool looking blocks, whatever, but if you're trying to get the most blocks, get as many, touches as possible, whatever, take as much space away from this guy as possible. That's what you got to be doing. Let's see this one more time. Yeah. He's got kind of slow hands here to the middle here, but it works because that middle's late. Spinner missed the serve. Spinner makes the serve. Nice move. Really nice swing here. And look at his patience here, okay? He sees the ball. He's waiting. He's not overdoing anything. He's going. And then is explosive. He's only explosive at the end. Like, he's only going full speed right as he's right from here on, I'd say, like right when he starts to bring his arms through to swing up and everything. That's the only time when he's like going full speed. The rest of the time he's going a little under full speed or whatever. Oh, Kita, you silly goose. Oh my gosh. Kita just missed a free ball in the net. Stuff happens. Ooh, wow. Souza. And like this move right here is, I think, a very athletic way to remain neutral and ready to help on the middle, help on the pipe, and also get to your main guy. Because right here, he hits like a split step, which is phenomenal. Hits a split step, does a quick swing block move, presses immediately. Maybe could have pressed a little harder and maybe gotten the block there, but it's a phenomenal move. And Souza gets a tool because he just swung really hard. Oh gosh, my neck is a little tight. And you see a similar move here. Oh goodness. Oh. You see a similar move by Ishikawa where he does a little shuffle swing combo. And then Souza just goes even sharper than everything. And again, I've said this before, but if that ball's inside, just continue to go with it. Like go cross. Go cross. Unless that block is really far, go cross. Okay. Love this float here. And I was talking to my buddy last night about Micah Christenson's serve. And he's a really good example of someone who can reverse float and be really aggressive with it and go back and forth with reverse float and spin. And you see how next chance we get, you'll see how he reaches, he gets great contact on it, he does the same toss, he approaches pretty much the same exact way. He doesn't change much. You don't want your two serves to be extremely different, or else it's just going to be a pure float and a pure spin, Like there's no variation in that. Right, take care of it by Bentara. And I want you guys to notice this is a very subtle thing that, doesn't matter all that much. But look at how Bentara transitions off the net straight back on the free ball. So then he's covering here on the free ball, okay? I used to get caught running outside the court and just not being anywhere on a free ball. And then people would drop it short here and they would score because I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't realize I was supposed to be there. Get there, you idiot. Again, same deal with Ishikawa's approach here where he's patient, and then once he decides to jump, which is from this point on, he's explosive. Like you see how one of his quickest motions is swinging his arms up when he jumps, And, same thing with Modric. You see the same pacing with his approach where out of system, slow, and then super fast right there. Misses the hands a little bit there, but hey, still a good swing. Stuff happens. Uh-huh. I want to see Lucer's move. It's not a bad move, though. That's really not a bad move at all by Lucer. Honestly, I'd say it's a pretty dang good touch. He hits a split step, maybe gets caught a little bit on that middle, just leaning, see how he starts leaning so that he can, the lean, that's an unbalanced split step just a little bit, and then he gets caught there, maybe a little bit late, could have pressed a little more. But that's a good touch, Ishikawa wasn't really able to do much on that jump. And I don't know, I guess he could have picked that up. I don't know. I don't know. The help blocker on the pipe it's such an interesting thing because wow, that could have been dangerous. Unless it was and nobody noticed. Well, good thing you still put it away though. Still swung, still put it away. But the help blocker on the pipe, like the pins, they're often not very high, unless it's a misconnection like this and Gino, like you just jump and do whatever. But let's see if we get another scenario. Like that help blocker is usually just like throwing his hands in there, trying to close, not being huge. Sometimes they get hit low and it just trickles through or, whatever. I don't know. You just don't want to you want to take some space away. It's just hard to say where, I don't know. It's weird. Let's see if we get another scenario here. I want to see the blocking scheme on a pipe, like a good instant pipe. This is a good block by Semeniuk though. Like I know he leaves a good amount of line here, but everything else is taken care of. The 6 spot is taken care of, and he's not drifting a ton, so that's easier for the middle to close, and it's also easier to read on defense. But it's Souza, and he's just bouncing it right in front of Ishikawa. Can't expect really much different from Souza. Semeniuk, big serve, and you see here on this serve, they kind of cheat over here, trying to close this seam because it's a difficult seam to take care of, and they pass 4, and they have that libero take that seam. Deep out of system though. Wow. Big time OT, massively OT, and Semeniuk just goes, okay, I'm going straight to the corner, completely covering the corner. Gianelli needs the tips and possibly to take care of this line here. Gosh, that's a phenomenal swing. Just a better dig by Semeniuk. And then after this, I want to see the transition here from Ishikawa. Yeah. And you see I was watching Aaron Russell yesterday. I think he transitions off the triple block really well. But I like here, it's different than Aaron Russell, but I like here where he just repositions himself off of this foot, and makes sure that he's going towards the ball, getting to the ball wherever. And then he gets tight. And look at where he is when he's jousting this ball here. He's not fully extended. He's not all the way at his peak or whatever. He's here. Okay, he has a ton of power, ton of control from here. Okay, let's see what he does. Just presses through. Oh, he could have probably swiped or something. Maybe pressed even more. And look at how he still draws. And again, I've said this before, but Mikey Christenson is very active with his hands. He's a very good blocker. But Ishikawa is able to show him a swing by drawing that shoulder a ton. And look at how close he's jumping from too. He's getting himself close to the net so he has all the power in the world to make it easy to joust it. Now they're out of system again. Ishikawa is going to take a swing, off of his hands here. And you just jousted him, so he's probably second guessing a little bit. He's probably not pressing as much, and then you just chip it off his arm there. Really, really nice by Ishikawa. Two very smart swings. And then transition again. Gets his feet to the ball again. Bang, takes a swing off the hand. Really nice. And when you're going for that swing, let's go back one more. You want even Mikey Christenson even kind of dives a little bit. You want to just aim for this right here, that part right there, because one, that's really hard to play defense on, but also that's hard to block too. Just making sure that you're all the way around that is kind of a tough thing to do, and most people don't cover that enough. So you want to be okay with missing high and missing a little bit to the side here. If you have a challenge system, if you don't have a challenge system, it's a little more risky, because you don't want to just hit pinkies and then not get a call. I literally did that the other night. Ooh, frustrating, of course. Good read by Gianelli, though. And honestly, on a ball that's this tight, I am totally a fan of doing this on defense. Yesterday, when I was watching film, I was saying to stay super deep and everything, but that's an exception. Is when that setter is possibly dumping the ball. Oops, I just spit a little bit. It's possibly dumping the ball. That's the exception. Yeah. Okay. When this middle is approaching on a ball where he's setting it from further off, look at how he remains vertical. He doesn't jump as far forward. Gets ready for that ball to be kind of behind him. Wow, nice. Really good close by this middle here. One-legged move, presses well. Look at how late he is. He's not even off the ground. By the time Kita's hitting this ball, he's on his toes. He's not even off the ground technically. Obviously, he's really tall. Okay, so that helps him a lot. But again, you can be late, dude. You can be late and still get a good block. Look at that. Really nice move. One-legged move too. And then he just presses. But again, this is what I'm talking about here, is Ben Tara's reaching, trying to close this block, and he's not able to still. So I don't know. It's interesting. Playing against the Bic is a tough thing to do. Against a team that has a really, really clean connection on the back row, it's hard to do anything with, because that puts your middle in a tough position. It does a lot of different things. Yeah, he could have pressed a lot better here. He was almost back, it looked like. Plotnitsky going in to serve for Lucer? No. For Lucer. Looks like, at least. I assume it's Lucer. Yeah, it should be. It's a really nice serve. Plotnitsky's got one of the nicest serves in the world, man. He's consistent with it too, which is nice. Yeah. Kita just ripping high, man. Ripping high. Oh, wow, that's really far in. I think he got aced pretty bad here. Yeah, that's in. That's definitely in. Yeah, and I mean, Akita's serve is coming from so high. Like that's probably just an angle that Ishikawa's not really used to seeing the ball come from, you know? That's gotta go. No, that's gotta go outside. Okay. Nice. Really nice swing. Bang. Off the hands, man. Off the hands. Off the hands. That's a really nice swing. That's a really nice swing. I want to see it one more time. Okay, ball's off the net. Ball's there. Keeps the ball in front of him. Gets his feet there. Swings high. Really, really nice off the hands. Just hits right in that green zone of the fingers. That's really nice. Yeah. And you don't want to get beat. Like on a scenario like this where that ball gets pushed, you want to be prepared to go inside for that ball that's going to die inside, but you don't want to be jumping to your left really ever. So, yeah. Obviously, you might get into a situation where you have to jump left, so you should do it if that's the best option. But you want to put yourself in a position to where rarely you're forced to be in that position, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Big middle swing to the corner. Really nice. And when that middle is able to max out and be at his peak, that corner becomes available, and it's really nice to hit that corner because look at that. That's passing right by his shoulder. Like that's a really hard move to make. And if it hits his shoulder, chances are that's probably not up anyways, so it's tough. Really, really tough to play defense there. Good move by Semeniuk. Wonder if Lucer could have. Yeah, Lucer just bit a little bit here. And when you're playing against a really good setter, obviously do your scouting so you know what to get into. But since they run this ball a lot faster when it gets pushed forward like that, it just adds some pressure to Lucer to make sure that he's there. And then it gives them this. Okay, it gives them this right here where Lucer just bites a little bit, just takes one step, and then he doesn't get as far, and he's a little bit late maybe. And then, bang, that seam is opened. Scoring window, bang, Souza swings into it. That's all it opens up. It's nothing too crazy, but I like when people run that faster tempo right there. Good dunk by Bentara there. Really nice. It's a good touch by Gianelli there. And look at how he goes straight up. He's not drifting a ton. Gets his feet to the ball really nicely there. And just presses towards the ball. Reaches towards the ball, gets a nice touch. And now Mojic was in the net. Yep. I see it. 23-24. First set getting real shifty here. Yeah. And you see, he's still late. And I think that hits. Yeah, it's a good touch by Gianelli. It's a good touch by Gianelli, man. But again, he's reaching into the angle first. And if he presses more, he might be able to block that. Again, press to the ball before you press into the angle. You can find the angle much easier when you're closer to the ball. You can cover the angle so much easier the closer you are to the ball. But, you just don't want to give up that space in between you and the net, Wow, what a swing. Just getting hit. On the wings, on defense, you just got to learn how to get hit sometimes. And what I mean by that is what's your posture like? And if you get hit by the ball, where's that ball going? Are you palms up so that if that ball hits your palm, it's going up, or are you connected? And then if that ball hits you, it's going wherever. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all get me. Y'all get me. Ishikawa under, probably. It's a little scary. And Souza is so explosive. So explosive on a shuffle move. I think it's nice to see that it looks like he kind of stays on his toes a little bit on it. But yeah, it's just a nice, aggressive move. Still able to just get up and be very athletic off of a shuffle. Looks like there was a bad toss from Micah Christenson there on his serve. Ooh. Key to going for the recycle. And a player like him, you don't want to bring that ball down. Like, I know he's trying to take some pace off, but you don't want to bring that ball down at all. You want to hit higher on the hands, I don't know. I feel like Kita could just swing at the hands, and since he's high enough, that thing's going to bounce up. Anyways, and it looks like Kita's gotten a few errors here. But hey, man, that's his game. His game isn't errors, but his game is he's going for it. And sometimes he's gonna make some errors, but a lot of the time he's gonna just get some cool kills, some big swings. Out of bounds, spinner, perfect pass going to the middle here. Oof. It's a really nice block. Really nice. Pressing well, getting close to that ball. This is a good example. Like, these guys are very close. Where the ball is and where his hands are very close. And you see, he tries to turn it around and go to the one spot, but because he's so close, it's impossible. Ooh, what's the score? 6-7. Oh my gosh. Reverse flow, knew it. Good job. Yeah, and now Gianelli has him biting on the middle, which is nice because then it turns into a one-on-one for Bentara. And I like how they have Ishikawa going behind as well. But again, the pass puts the pressure on. Unless you guys are so predictable that even on perfect, it's 90% going to one guy. If it's really, really lopsided, then you know what's going to go on. Wow, who saved this, Bentara? I don't know. Bentara must have hopped over the bench or something there. Great example of never celebrate too early. You never know what's going to happen. Out of bounds. I like that run. Pass gets moved back. You still got that big option running over the top of the drifting forward route. He may have gotten field goal on it, but yeah, and if you're tall, it's much easier for you to, make a move like this and press. But wow, I'm surprised he got field goal there. Really nice. 10-9 in second. Hybrid, Kita. Perfect pass. Passing puts the pressure on. The setter can do whatever, but passing is what truly puts consistent pressure on a team. Not only on the serving. It makes, if you're playing against a team that's diming every single serve, when you go back to serve, you're thinking, geez, man, I'm going to try, but I'm going to, maybe I got to do too much, or whatever. They're just diming everything. And it just puts some pressure on you. You don't serve as loose. You don't serve as confident. But also blocking, it just becomes really, really difficult to do anything. Because then, man, you get some hype. Because you're going to get some cooler balls because there's going to be one-on-ones or possibly even no blocks. That's one where he kind of doesn't sell it as much. Looks like the ball was just a lot more forward than he was expecting. But I like how aggressive Lucero approaches here. He has to cover a lot of space here. Ball gets moved back. He's starting from here. He just runs straight towards it. Jumps from pretty far, drifts forward towards him, and Gianelli kind of finds him. They find a tip there. It's a nice one. Yeah. Good adjustment. And that's good trust. That's a good connection, because you're both going to try and do what you can for the other person. The setter's going to try and throw it out a little bit if he thinks you're far. You're going to try and jump towards him if you think you are far. Like you're just trying to help each other out. But even though it's not like a perfect situation, you still trust each other to go for it because you know that the other person's trying to make an adjustment for you. Bang. Little in-system action to him here. And look at this move. This is a great move by Bentara. Or not Bentara. By Lucer here. Split step. Makes the move. Again, late. But that's fine because he's pressing enough to where he gets the block. Yeah. Great choice by Christenson to go to the other pin. Ooh. Gosh, man, that's a good block move. Kita's just hitting it so hard and hitting it from such a high point that it's just tool city. You're at such a risk of getting tooled because that ball is just a wrecking ball, man. Bang. Nice swing. Really nice swing. Perfect timing to do it where it's kind of a quick ball. The defense doesn't have a ton of time to prepare. And bang, just OT to the deep corner. We got 18-12. Spinner. Let's see. Modric ripping it to the cross there. Just getting on it quick. Like I feel like that ball dies a little bit inside. Or maybe he just wanted to pick it off quick. I don't know. I'm not sure. But just ripping it through. Let's see the middle move. I mean, it looks like Gianelli kind of started reaching towards the angle. But if he pressed earlier, if he pressed over the net as far as he could and just reached towards the ball, again, I think he could have gotten the block. Today, I'm going to do that like crazy. I mean, I'm playing against a good right side. Honestly, he's kind of a similar player to Bentara. He hits it really hard, too. And I'm just going to reach. I'm just going to reach towards the ball. Last game, I think I got some pretty good touches on him on the block. But, I don't know. I'm interested to see how it goes tonight for my game. We'll see what goes on. Ooh. Yeah. Again, I mean, I don't know. It seems like he's reaching towards. Maybe he's reaching towards the ball. I don't know. Maybe at this level, reaching towards the ball is really, really difficult and sometimes hurts you because these guys are contacting it so high. But that looks like an unlucky touch to me. Or maybe he was just early. Yeah. Be late. Be patient on the block. Be late. Bam, 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 bam. That's a really nice swing, but it's just out of bounds by a little bit here. And I don't know. On a ball like this where he's past maybe 13, 14 feet, he's probably close to 14 feet here. You're going high. Miss high. Personally, I would rather be against a triple block at my peak than having to rush and not be at my peak. Like, it looks like he's kind of rushed there, and then he's kind of scrunched because he's not fully at his peak, it looks like to me. It's very subtle, but I know that feeling that Semeniuk probably had in that scenario where it just feels like you're rushed and then you're not at your peak and then you're trying to go here and then it just kind of stays flat and goes out of bounds or just doesn't go where you want. Good save by Modric going hard over there. And that's the kid. That's Sani. Who's the blonde kid then? I don't know what's going on, man. The blonde kid was the other kid. I don't know what's going on. Really nice swing by Semeniuk here. Nice. Okay. Again, you see this approach from the middle here. He's going from here to here. Big angle. So this guy's thinking, oh gosh, I have to get in front of that to block it. It just primes his mind there, like just a little bit of momentum with the middle just changes a few things. Like it just makes the middle think about it a little bit more. Just a little added pressure, just a little sprinkle of pressure there, you know? A nice swing from him here. Wow. Nice run behind. Gets it on his right shoulder. Look at how close he's approaching here. He's like pretty much hip to hip here. And then Mike Christenson just gets that ball right to his right arm. Honestly, maybe I could see it, him wanting to push it a ball further to his right, but still, that's a pretty dang good connection. Yeah. And again, I like I've said this, I think Mike Christenson's a really, really good, smart blocker who sees the plays really well. But then Ishikawa just draws his arm so much still that it looks like a swing and then changes it. Like, that's phenomenal deception. And this guy doesn't have any time to go get it, you know? Bang. Kablam. Gianelli goes up there for the dump again and then just gets beat. Gianelli just going for it. That's the kid that I'm talking about. That's Glatz. The kid that I didn't know who he was. Good swing, though. He's in back row for Mojic. Going over top again. They're not expecting him, and he's taking good swings. Keep feeding him. Why not? He's getting no blocks. He's there. In their mind, he's the last option there, so he's not getting too much attention from the blockers. Yeah. And you see, he makes an aggressive approach, and then just kind of waits in the air a little bit longer, and then pops that ball, you know? Good run. Interesting, man. Very, very interesting. Spinner, Ishikawa, dime, over the top. Lots of back row right now. And it's working out pretty well. I like Semeniuk getting up there. And, you know, keeping that ball in front of you and keeping yourself vertical allows you to take it to angles like this, you know. Again, Mike Christenson getting hit. Like, that's a weird one, but he gets hit, ball's still alive, and they can do something. And at least the ball's still going, play's still alive. Wow. Again, he's not high, but at least he's pressed so that if he gets hit, he's good. That's not a bad swing by Ishikawa. That's just unlucky. That's an unlucky move for him. You know, like that middle made a weird move. An unexpected move, I'd say. Blast that ball right into his face there. They're having fun, though. They're having fun. I bet they were chuckling about that a little bit. Ooh. Wow. I've never seen that from Souza. That roll shot, that carry roll shot, you know, like that follow through roll shot. It's interesting. It's a nice shot, though. Really nice shot. Sharp with pace. Like very far away from where they are with a good amount of pace. That's a really nice shot. Oh man, he's so deceptive, bro. Just going like that and then just finishing up. You know, like. It doesn't change what Gianelli does at all, okay? But it changes what the middle does because then he's late, you know. And I think maybe he should have set the middle here, because he made the middle bite, but still, it's a good run. It's a good run, and now he knows for next time if he is able to deceive there, he can go to the middle. You know, and I mean, one thing I guess you could probably do if you're a setter is you could think before the play, you're like, okay, if I'm going to, no, you could probably just practice it so that you know who you're deceiving and who is matched up with each other. You know, like, it's almost like in basketball, like, who are you setting a screen on? You know, like, if my one teammate is getting a screen set on his defender, then I'm going to look for him. He's going to be open. You know what I mean? And in the same way, if I'm going to be deceptive and it's probably going to deceive a middle, then I'm going to I'm going to set the guy who is being defended by him primarily. Semeniuk, man, what a clean blocker. What a clean blocker. Doesn't do anything special. Very boring blocker, but a great blocker nonetheless. Very, very disciplined blocker for sure. Good serve right at Kita. Pretty good in system there. Yeah, man. Yeah. And like, I mean, I guess obviously if you're going to deceive him into thinking that he's going to get it, then you set somebody else, of course, but still. I don't know. I mean, Kita's just such a great option to set pretty much all the time just because he's constantly at an advantage. Like, he's always got a mismatch. You know, Kita, big spin into Ishikawa's lap, but it's an overpass. It's a big serve, man. It's a big, big serve. And yeah, it looks like this is the time that Plotnitsky came in for Ishikawa, just primarily for passing reasons, it looked like. All right, let's see, inside, but that ball is just not good enough. And I don't know, I mean, Modric is expecting a perfect ball, and then he's just not able to take a real swing on this one, which is a little frustrating. Again, look at how he's completely sold out on the line, which if he sees it, sure. I think the only reason that he went to the line there is because he's jumping from here and he feels a lot of space here, so he's like, oh shoot, there's a lot of space here, I gotta close it. Almost like when you feel like you're far from the middle on a triple block and then you are like, oh shoot, I gotta reach my hands over or whatever. You know, like fight that automatic reaction and make sure you're stable and pressing as much as possible. Tip over the top. Semeniuk. Oh, man. Yeah, just a little slight miscommunication there. It would have been a fun one. That would have been fun to see Semeniuk on a 3-ball there. That would have been cool. And now Verona is just ripping serves, putting a ton of service pressure on them. Good pass. That's a good pass, man. It's a really nice serve, though. And even though he dined it, that's still forcing Semeniuk to make a move at the edge of his range and make a very good angle and pass really well. Great touch. That's all you can really expect against a great serve, or a great passer. Put him at the edge of his range. Force him to do something not boring and basic, you know. Make him do something that's a little bit harder, which is passing at the end of his range. Great swing by Souza. Deep corner. Lots of reverse floats from Verona right now. Bang. Bang. And yeah, like, you see Kita here, he's patient. He's way more patient because it's going to come from further, of course. But he's ready to go inside. But then he sees right there that the ball's not inside, so he goes straight to the ball and just gets his feet there. Bang. He's such a fun guy, man. Such a legend. Gosh, man, I want to see that serve one more time. Yeah, again, same toss. Like, that's a high toss. And he just pops it. Pops it real gentle. Real gentle-like. Like, he's not really hitting that ball hard at all. He already has enough momentum with his approach and all that. Like, he's not really hitting it that hard. I don't know. I mean, one thing that I do on the grass is I jump more vertically so that I'm not drifting forward and then that ball's more in front of me. But another thing you can do is just toss that ball a little bit further, which it looks like Christenson does, is he tosses it a little bit further so that ball's in front of him on that hybrid. You know? It's a big serve. It's another big serve, man. These guys are ripping serves. Looks like that's the primary force in from both sides. Oh my gosh! And this route, they're running this route a lot right now, where they're sending that middle at an angle, forcing him to bite on his left side, and then running it over the top. It's a really nice route. And, like, look at, like, he's far from him, you know? Like, if he's right in the middle of the court approaching on this pipe, he's so far from him. Even Mojic, let's say he just jumps straight up from here. Let's say he's right here, blocking right here. How much is he really covering? You know, like, he still has all of this. I mean, if he attacks from here, let's say he stays right here. Let's say he's covering right here. You're not blocking any swing that's inbounds anyways. So it's like, what do you... Like, unless it's a perfect triple from directly right in the middle of the court, you're swinging at those angles. You're swinging in between the blockers like crazy, you know? Like, that's the spot to score. When you're front row, you're usually aiming for, okay, you want to go OT to the deep corner, or you want to go sharp angle. But when you're back row, when you're swinging on a pipe, your primary options are going to be right at the side of the middle somewhere, whether it's in between these blockers here or it's at the side of the blocker here. Like, it's going to be here and here. That is primarily the option. And now if you got a player like Kita who can absolutely completely bounce a back row ball, he could probably hit the ball from the back row about right here, maybe even further up. He's crazy. So at that point, you're okay with hanging it high for him. As long as he's up there, he has options and he can just do whatever the heck he wants. Yeah, they haven't run this. They haven't run this a lot, but I think they should take advantage of it a little bit more. I think both teams could take advantage of that gap right there a little bit more. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you're a setter, you could just look at your teammates and be like, okay, how do they score? Like, what's the where in the world do they get most of their points compared to the blocker? Compared to the blocker, as well as where they swing the court too. But like, if they're constantly going underneath, then you want to run a fast tempo. You want to keep them underneath. Bang. So fun. Still approaches so aggressively. And I honestly feel like the approach is just as important as the draw, because you see how aggressive he approached there. But when once he's off the ground, this is the furthest that he draws. Like, this is the most that he'll look like he's going to swing, arm swing wise. And then he's immediately to his hands, and it's fine. And he gets both of these guys to jump because of how aggressive he jumped. Bang. Yeah, really nice. And that's the fourth set, man. That's to finish off the third set. Now we're on to the fourth. What was I saying? I was saying, as a setter, you want to look at where your teammates are scoring, you know, because if your teammate is going OT and that's where he gets most of his kills, keep him at his peak. Make sure that you're going to keep him at his peak and make sure that you're running routes in that fashion, you know, or like if your middle is usually going OT, you want to get him at his peak as quick as possible. But if you have a smaller middle and he scores more on angles and whatever, you want to be quick. You want to run routes where he's jumping to the side, things like that. You know, like, you got to understand your players. You got to understand your guys to know where you're going to be running them and how you can maximize each one of them. Nice swing. And of course, out of system, you're just going to have to hang it high and let the man make a good decision. But if someone's good at jousting, put it tight. If someone's not good at jousting and they'd rather have it off, do it. You know, you gotta communicate with your hitters so you know what they want. You know, it's a nice swing. Again, I feel like he can grab that ball there. Mojic is up there with him, man. I don't know, because even if he reaches towards the ball there, that could even just turn into a soft touch. This right here is what he could have done earlier, where he makes it look like he's leaning back and setting back, and then just hangs it for the middle. Bang, 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 bang. And Micah Christenson, he's learning. He's doing these things, man. He's like, okay, next time I get into a situation like that, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do that. Good job by Souza. That's a really good shuffle move, man. Really good shuffle move. He's balanced and then just explosive off of this step right there. Just look at how he pushes over so quick and he's off the ground quickly. You know, sometimes even I struggle to like be quick with that shuffle move when I'm helping with the middle and trying to be on my guy. And yeah, I mean, just being quick like that, like that's a great example of a shuffle move. And he got the block too, so it's a good one. Might have to save that. Might have to clip that so that I can use that in any system stuff that I talk about, you know? Like, oof. Souza, silly goose, Souza. Yeah, you know, Kita's going for that. Yeah, and once that ball gets pushed off, I don't know. I mean, I guess he approached pretty aggressive there. But you see his head go up like that. And then you see his hands. Like, this is what you're waiting for. If you're that blocker, you're waiting. You should watch and wait for his hands to see if he's jumping like this, ready to set, or if he's drawing like this, you know? Bang. But, I don't know. But sometimes you're able to trick a middle blocker or trick any of the blockers into thinking you're swinging just because of how aggressively you approach. Good block by Plotnitsky. Good patience here. Good patience, just creeping over. He's got time. Goes up. He's not at his peak yet. He's still not at his peak. Swing's going into him. He's getting hit. He's finally maxed out on his jump. That's his penultimate. Or no, that's his pendulum? No, that's not the word. What's the peak of someone's jump called? What's that called? I forget. Shoot, man. Got to take another physics class. I forget. Forget all this good stuff. But, yeah, you don't want to be maxed out until you're just about getting hit by that ball. And it's okay to be late and still rising up as you're blocking. Unless you're at a huge height disadvantage, then you want to make sure that you're at the peak of your jump as you're getting hit. But, you can be okay with being a little bit late. Good serve. Gets him. Good pass there. Good reaction by Lucer. Gets off the block, just puts it real high. Plotnitsky gets his feet there really well there. Wow. And look at how he turns his body. Gets it to his left arm, turns his body really well. That's nice, yeah, because that's tough. Not an easy thing to do there. If it's high enough, it's much easier. But again, like, anytime you're out of system, or it's like, okay, let me just put it high, let him make a decision. Don't rush him. Put it high. Put it really high. Force him to be more patient. But yeah. Yeah. And a ball like this where it's just reverse flow. Because this is pretty much going to be a one ball here. And so he's just like biting. And that ball's tight. Gets it. We're in system over there for Perugia. Little chop action from Semeniuk. It's a good swing. Good read by the libero. And they do some fun stuff right there with Kita going on almost a 3-ball. Interesting, man. Wow. Perugia's up. Oh, wow. Bopped this out of bounds. I've never seen Plotnitsky reverse hybrid. I don't think I've ever seen it from him. That's interesting. I've never seen him do that. Wow. Yeah, good work here by Bentar to get that ball to his right shoulder again and at least make sure that he's opened up enough to swing down that line. Yeah. I mean, Bentara is a very athletic man, so it helps. But you see here, Bentara is very up, very vertical, and then when he wants to block, he has to get lower and do it. And that's not what Souza did on that block on Plotnitsky. He was already loaded, makes a super aggressive step, and then jumps. You know. Christenson system. Again, same thing. I don't know how I feel. Like, if he's drifting this much, I don't know how I feel about going fast unless he knows for sure. Because it just doesn't look like he's maxed out as much as he can here. It looks like kind of a soft jump because of the ball being a little lower than he wanted. Good read into the middle of the court here. Going semi in system. I like this when the guy, when he has to stay down, being able to set a semi in system ball. You know, maybe it's a slight, definitely a misconnection there, but the principle and the system of saying, okay, if he's gonna have to be down and not jump, then still setting a semi in system ball. So there's no like huge difference of whatever tempo, you know, like being ready, you know. Ball's in system. We're going back to the D ball. Oh, he gets tooled. Wow, that's an interesting one. 20-13, Verona's down, but they're up 2-1 in sets. So that's a really nice swing. He does that so well, man. Just getting his body around here and like rotating and bringing this leg forward so that he can open up and take a real rip. I feel like he's one of the best at it right now. Like having that hand, wow, he missed it. Must have been by a few inches, but yeah, ball doesn't lie. I knew it was in. Come on. But like if we mirror that to the right side, it's a righty right side, and being able to like turn like that, I don't know, it's very impressive to me because I see a lot of people, including myself, struggle with that exact situation to like take a real swing and be able to put your full power into a swing on that. Gosh, he's so explosive, Plotnitsky. OT, good touch, really nice touch. Gosh, Gianelli just touches everything, man. What a great blocker. Just slows everything down. And, you know, he's not, like, getting a ton of kill blocks on people right now, but he's just slowing the ball down a ton. Yeah. Kita gets a little jammed up on his chest. Tips for a reuse. Great press by Lucer. Yeah, I love this move. He cheats over, they bunch over and kind of cheat. You know, anything in this range, I'd say is actually more of like here, is a full bunch right in the middle. But anything outside of that is like a bunch like this where they kind of cheat to one side. Because if it goes here, you can live with a double block. You don't need this guy to triple block anymore. And you want these, like, they're going to have enough time to go over and make a good block there. And then, since the ball was tight, Plotnitsky stayed down. But I think he's very able to make a triple block move here and close there and get up. But great grab by Lucer. And look at how close he is as he's jumping. Look at how close he is to Bentara. Okay, he's very close. And then he's going up, grabbing that ball, throwing it down. Really nice. 24-15. About to get into the fifth set here. Once they win this ball. Weirdness. Lots of weirdness. Okay. That's okay. Stuff happens. 15. That's okay. Bang. Let's see the pass first. That's not Semeniuk, is it? That's somebody else. All right, we got Semeniuk and Plotnitsky now. Good ball. Off the hands. Off the hands of Mikey Christenson there. Good job by Semeniuk. I don't know. I think Semeniuk's doing really well this year. Last year I had a few things with him and I was like, he doesn't look the best here. Like, oh, this, that, whatever. But I think this year he looks just phenomenal. Making great decisions. Passing well. Of course, he was passing well last year as well. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. And this is when you get blocked like this, you can't be too mad. Somebody's got to go up and pick that up. Ace. Big serves. Fifth set. The fifth set is a phenomenal time to be ripping serves, man. It's a phenomenal time for it. You know, like huge pressure, huge momentum thing. Bang. Ooh, yeah. And this is why it's important too, or like this is why having him have momentum forward works well, because then that 5 spot is just open for him. That 5 spot is very comfortable and very open for him. America. T. Plotnitsky, good pass in system. And, you know, I think Perugia's passing pretty well on most of the serves, but Verona's just throwing some untouchable aces at him here and there. Perugia's up 5-4 here. Floater, Kita, good handle. Runs the middle. And going into a fifth set with Micah Christensen, if his team's passing, listen, man, there's not many people, like, he's going to outsmart people in a fifth set. If his team's passing well, he's going to outsmart most people and create opportunities like this where he just has at least a gap or at least some sort of an advantage against people. See a ball, that one's gone. Plotnitsky, out of bounds. Bad serves here. Good serve, but it's an overpass. Nice. Again, service pressure, man. Service pressure in the fifth. And you got to go back there with confidence. You got to go back there thinking, heck yeah, I'm going to go get one. I'm going to go get an ace. I'm going to go put a bunch of pressure on them. Like, have that obtain mentality instead of avoid mentality. What is it? Avoidant versus, sorry, I'm thinking of psychology stuff. I don't remember what the word is, but it's like to go obtain something, you know? Big rip. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like if you watch Mikey Christensen's sets in this fifth set here and exclude any deep out of system balls, like any 2, 3, or 4 pass, if you watch, I bet it's just one-on-one. But man, big serves here in the fifth. Souza just got them 3 points. Whoa. Bentara, terrible toss. Gotta stay clean on the hand there. Wow. And then he steps on somebody. Look at how far he landed forward. Sorry, I won't play this anymore after this one. But look at how far he landed forward. Holy crap. And then he steps on his little Achilles there. You're all right. You're fine. 13-10 here. Verona missing the serve with Kita. And then Kita getting subbed out for passing reasons, of course. I like it. I like the idea there. Because you got killers up there. You got Mojic. You got Souza. You got them boys balling. Oh my gosh, what a great swing. And knowing that Gianelli, it's tight enough. Gianelli and this guy are big blockers. You're just ripping off the hands there. And you got to still swing. You got to still swing hard, or else that's going to be a soft block. And it's going to get dug. Big serve. Wow, big serve from that guy. Sani. Is there more than one Sani? Good choice by Ishikawa, dude. Great choice by Ishikawa. Ball's low. Makes the adjustment. Does something good there. And you see, even though Micah Christensen's reaching towards it, he sees this one. He's trying to grab it because he's just controlling that ball for a little longer than than Christenson wants. He's not able to block it. Big serve, but it trickles off the tape, and they finish it out right here. Again, just giving him an opportunity, he can score in this gap. These are two small blockers now. He just shrunk them. These are the two tallest guys on the court, probably. Maybe besides this middle. But two of the tallest guys on the court, making them make small block moves because of tempo, because of the pass mostly, but because you're just attacking that gap there. What a game. Thanks for watching, guys.